Here we go. Hello there everybody, and welcome to Arosæte blót, Thunor blót 2023. Today, Leodman Rhys Nicholasson, Lytel Beorn, is going to be leading the blót, and welcome everybody. We have Denu, Hearthsman here today joining us.
Alright folks, recently voted in Hearthsmen. I'm glad to be here.
Brilliant. And we've got Cynnwulf, Hearthsman brother Cynnwulf.
Hello again, it's back. I'm glad to be back again.
I am normally the lead hearthman of Arosæte blót, but today Leodman brother is going to lead it. So I'm going to hand over to you, brother Lytel Beorn.
So before we start off, what we usually do is we start off with a rune exercise. Breathe in the mægen and let out the dark energy that may be clouding through your mind. So I'm going to start off from the tips of your fingers, going from top to bottom of your body. Chant the rune of your exercise, or say the name of your god that you currently follow 3 times, and then we will hallow the sacred space.
Thursaz. Thursaz.
Before we do the Halloween, there is an effigy that must be cast out. This effigy represents all of the Uttengard, things that are bad, people who have wronged us. Curse this Uttengard. Curse it out of this Wæne. Curse it out of your lives for good and forever.
Make sure it's somewhere shouted so it can go on there. That's it.
Aye.
All done there.
And now with the Uttengard cast out of this Wæne, we will now hallow it. Hammer I carry around this hearth, all of you fellows keep this frith. Hammer I carry for the laird, hammering grandos into flight. Thunor, 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 this hearth. Uttengard spears, I am your bane. You will know my heathen name. Thunor, 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 this hearth. Hammer I carry around this hearth, all of you fellows keep this frith. Hammer I carry for the laird, hammering grandos into flight. Thunor, 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 this hearth. Uttengard spears, I am your bane. You will know my heathen name. Thunor, 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 this hearth.
There's the one eye.
And now that the Wæne have been called, I will call the Arosæte with the war horn. Now the gods have been called, I will now hallow the mead.
Yeah. Dan, do you want to pour it in if I hold it, or do you want me to pour it in?
Yeah, I can pour it in for you if you want.
Harry, do it at Klingus.
Yeah, or do you want me to hold it?
If you hold it, and
Yeah,
then
yeah, of
Rhys
course.
is obviously going to Rhys will hallow it.
Yeah.
So I'll pour that in, and then he'll share it out. Like we did.
Hail Walden! We honour your ways. Thunor, hello, the sacred mead. Thunor well. Thunor well. Thunor well.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Shall I share that out with her?
Yes.
Oh, and then what we've got to do?
Give it to the offering bowl.
Yeah. Gods.
Put it there for you, disengage.
Thanks, bud.
You're welcome. That's mine.
That's yours. I don't want to stick it in that one. Yeah, Dan.
I've already got a
Yeah,
bit of
this
cider in this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
brilliant,
That
bud.
was already
What
prepared.
I'll do then, actually, I will pour some of that in, and then I'll put some into yours because that's hallowed then. Then, yeah, we can always add more later as we go. Let me actually.
Ready there, bro?
Yep, I'm ready, bro.
Thunor well.
Don't forget to cleanse the hallowed circle as well.
Thunor well. Thunor well.
You put that back for us, love. Yeah.
Now, the Hearthsmen and half has been cleansed of all the Uttengard energy. Hail Brother Wulfman, we honour your ways. Hail Thunor, in your name the beverage has been hallowed. We hail Bachia, local eldermen and the forebears. We hail Ikel, founder of Mercia. We hail founder Wuffa of the Wulfingus half. We hail Hengist and Horsa, the twin founding brothers who founded our land. This time of wheel, also known as After Litha, meaning after Litha. It is said the ways of our forebears to he the time of Thunor. While still the time of summer, it is also a time of torrential hard rain and thunderstorms. This is mighty Thunor. He gives us these elements so that our lands may not run dry. It is hot days and our crops may not dry, as well as our water supply He keeps the produce of our rivers and Wada's sea alive. We now also have crossed the halfway point of the wheel. We now cross into darker days. Our forebears would see this as the start of winter. Thunor, this beating his mighty hammer, Mjolnir or Malnir. This allows his sparks while beating each supposed anvil or fighting the Jotnar in the other worlds to create what we believe we know as the modern Lear's reign. Everyone repeat. Hail Thunor!
Hail Thunor!
Thunor has many stories.
Thunor has
No,
many.
wait, that's my part. Thunor has many stories. For these I will tell. Thunor, who was once angered by the father of lies, he who shall not be named, but we know as the trickster. But I will say it for our sakes. Luca, otherwise known as in modern Norse as Loki. The trickster god, once who went on a trip with Thunor through the summer, well, had a plan to trip with him through the summer, to go hunting season, as it's commonly known for Thunor. He would go to Jotunheim, keep them at bay from going in, crossing into the middle realm, our realm, the Midgard. And so, as Loki delaying the trip, Thunor had no time and took flight in his goat-drawn chariot. Extremely annoyed and upset by this, Loki would go getting drunk on Jotun wine and mead. While half drunk through the night, he came across Thunor's home with a window open leading to his bedroom, where the lady Sith would be brushing her golden locks that would be as long to touch the ground, or perhaps even longer. And while she was sleeping, Luca thought it would be a good idea to try and play a prank. Not to try and anger the Thunder God, but to make him think on what action was taken that day. Then Luca would climb into his room, his sleeping quarters, and thought it would be a good idea to cut a bit of Sif's hair off. Getting carried away with his mad trick, he went and lopped the whole head of hair off, leaving it as bald as an egg. And as sunlight was dawning and thunder coming over the skies, Loki had to make haste and get out of the room before the Thunder God returned. But during his haste, one of his golden laced green sandals fell off his foot, and would then eventually leading to his downfall. And so then, as the Lady Sif awoke, her scream was so loud it woke nearly all the Æsir up. The first on the scene, as Thunor came in to comfort his wife, wondering what had happened and why her beautiful hair was cut off. Nanna, wife of Baldai, would approach Thunor with the green laced sandal, saying that this was a trick of Loki. Enraged by this, Thunor had cursed many known deaths that he could bestow upon the trickster. Sib, who was also upset, shouted at her husband, saying, "What good would that do? What good is it going to do? It's not going to bring my hair back." Shocked by this, Thunor made approach to Loki quick as possible. He kicked the door into Loki's home and grabbed him by the throat and demanded why would Loki do this? Why would he cut off the hair of such a beautiful goddess? Blaming it on the drink when it was his own actions, Loki would repent and beg for forgiveness, but would ultimately have to redeem himself. Thunor demanded that he did fix it, because not even Woden's command halt would stop Thunor in his mad anger. And so Loki would make haste to Dwelcam, Svartalfam, the realm of the dwarves. And so then Loki would come across the two dwarf brothers. Before that, he would come across the sons of Ivaldi, who were legendary dwarven smiths, well known throughout the Nine Realms, and they would forge a new golden hair for Sif, since they had a debt to pay Loki after Loki assisted them with a certain task. And so then they created the new golden wig for Sif, that the roots of that wig would actually seep into her scalp and become a new lock of hair. But since they had so much resources, the dwarfs decided they would not just end it there. They created more gifts. They create a ring. No, not a ring. That's Brock and Sindri. They would create the golden spear, Gongnir, and a spear that would never miss its target, or in its old English name, Oscar. And they would also create an origami paper ship, and this ship in its sail would have an unlimited wind blast that would carry the gods, all of the Æsir and the Wæne, and could be folded up into one's pocket. This would be Skidbladnir, the origami ship that could be folded. And also they would eventually be done crafting these, and Loki, on his way back to Asgard, would pay a trip to Brock and Sindri, or Eitri as some sources would call the brother of Brock. And as he would meet with the two dwarf brothers, he would boast on about how awesome the sons of Ivaldi's gifts were. Obviously, taking this as a sign of a challenge, Brock and Sindri would challenge Loki. If they could make gifts better than the sons of Ivaldi, they would claim a prize. The dwarves would claim Loki's head. The deal was then made. And as most of the gifts were already made, Loki, worried about his deal, would eventually try and distract the dwarf brother. He would distract Brock by turning into a horsefly, constantly biting at Brock's face and causing mighty anguish. However, the dwarf Brock was sturdy. He would continue bellowing the bellows, working the forge, until eventually the pain was unbearable. And Jonas' work, a weapon that was forged for the thunder god, its handle would be bossed, making the handle shorter. This would be Mjolnir, the hammer. As the brothers were done crafting their works, they came out to Loki saying, "We are ready." Loki would ask, "How come Brock's face is so wounded and so blood-filled?" This would be due to the horsefly constantly irritating Brock. And so they made their way to Uttengard, and into Valhalla, where they would meet with the gods in council and decide which gifts would be best and who would be the winner. First would be the sons of Ivaldi's gifts. They would be given to each Sib, Woden and Ingwi. The first to be given was Gungnir, the spear of Woden, the spear that never missed its target. Woden was very chuffed with this gift and even commended the sons of Ivaldi and Loki for such a prize. The next gift would be Skidbladnir, the origami ship, and Ingwi Frey was very chuffed with this gift and would even be thankful to have such a unique way of passage through the 9 realms. But most importantly, the golden wig that would be given to the lady Sib due to her missing locks, and Loki would give her his deepest apologies and hoped that he had redeemed himself for the way how he was drunk. She did somewhat forgive him, but the deed would never be forgotten. And the next would be the gifts that Brock and Sindri would bestow. First showing Draupnir, the ring that would duplicate into multiple arm rings every 9 nights, and this duplication would carry on throughout the years. The next gift would be Golden Burst, the golden battle boar that would fly among the air as well as water like Sleipnir, but this boar was so bright it would basically blind whoever bestowed their eyesight upon it. And the next gift and final that would win the day for the Dwarf Brothers was Mjolnir, Hammer of the Gods, forged from a dying star, and this would ensure the safety of gods and men alike, fending off the Jotnar menace. And the gods would council and decide the winner. Due to the hammer and its importance and how powerful it was, the Dwarf Brothers won the bet, and they would claim Loki's head. So, not wanting his head hurt and being in a cowardice mood, Loki took flight and made a quick haste out of Asgard. Thunor, having a score to settle for his wife's heir, quickly dragged him back by his locks, and deciding, and Woden knowing this, if they took Loki's head, the captain of Helheim would only be unleashed sooner. And so, deciding that even Brock had agreed with this, he can't have his head because he would have to harm his neck. And so, deciding to not actually harm the actual neck to get the head, the least they could do was silence his boasting. Knowing that he was an annoyance, and the least they could do was silence him for a bit. So Brock took a thread with some string and sewed his mouth shut. This was the tale of the gifts of the gods. The next tale would be Thunor's trip to Uttengard, the capital city of Jotunheim. And so it starts off with a summer trip with Loki and Thunor again. As they're coming through the realms of Midgard, they would stop by at a farmhouse. And this farmhouse was inhabited by a farmer and his wife and their 2 children, a boy and a daughter. And so then Thunor, being one for hospitality and showing gratefulness, he would ask the farmer and his homestead if they could stop for the night. But the farmer, they were willing to let the divine being stay, but they have nothing to offer for food since the winters have been quite scarce on the crops. Thunor chuckled with a loud laugh and said, "No worries there, good farmer, I appreciate your thrift. But, however, I will sort the food out. I will kill my goats, and we will have ourselves a goat feast." Roskva, the daughter, being sympathy for the goats, asked, "But ain't that harsh to the goats?" The thunder god only laughed loud at this and said, "Do not worry there, young child. My goats are pretty much used to this by now." As they sat and cooked the goats, Thunor looked at them with a serious face and said this: "As you're done eating your roast, do not break the bones and eat the marrow. I need these bones to be intact so that way I can hallow the goats back to life and they be in good condition." However, Loki, sitting next to Thjalfi, the older brother, said, "Oh, you should try this marrow, it will give you eternal youth and everything." And so, being persuaded by Loki's trickery, snapped one of the legs of the goat and sucked the marrow dry from it. This would have great regret for Thjalfi later. The next morning, as they awoke, Thunor, being the first one to wake up to bring the goats back to life, would hallow his hammer 3 times and bring the goats back to life. Finding out that one of the goats are crippled, the Thunder God was a bit, well, let's just say he went very in a good moods. He called out the whole farmstead to stand forth, and he demanded, angered by this, who would be so foolish to not heed his instructions? One of my goats is crippled, and now one of you must confess. It was Thjalfi who stepped forth and said, "It was me. I sucked the marrow dry, and I thought it would be delicious." Thunor would look at Thjalfi and tell him, "Why, you heeded my instructions, and yet you disobeyed me." And so the farmer, father of Thjalfi, begged Thunor's forgiveness, hoping that he would not curse them. However, the farmhand had a better idea. He would offer Thjalfi and Roskva to be servants for the day. Thunor would allow this, and they would be servants to serve one's needs until the day had been finished, and that Thunor would allow them to be redeemed. And so they would go on a trip. Because it still being a summer and they wanted to go to Jotunheim, they figured, let's see what the 2 children have to offer. And so they would go on their journey to Jotunheim with to Jotunheim. And so then, as they came across a little cave, which would supposedly be a cave, they would make a campment to find that an earthquake was happening. The Thunder God called out to everybody to get out of the cave to find an extremely enormous giant. The giants would introduce himself as Skrymir. He introduced himself as Skrymir, and he would even thank the 4 travellers that they had found his glove. Thinking, really, a glove? And then asking where the Thunder God and his companions were heading. The Thunder God said, "We are planning to make a trip to Uttengard, the home of the Jötnar race, the capital city of Jotunheim." And then Skrymir would tell them, "Be careful if you plan on going to Uttengard. It is the home of the Lord Uttengard Loki, who is Lord of Jotunheim, and he does not take kindly to Æsir or Midgardians alike."
Uttengard.
And obviously the capital place of the Uttengard, where all sorts of chaos could emerge. And so, as they made the trip with Skrymir, to find that they had to make a jog or even run because the giant's footsteps are so long, it would be an average walk for a Jotun, but it would basically be a sprint for the smaller being. After coming across the large oak tree in Jotunheim, they decided to make encampment. Uttengard would say to Thunor, "Let me look after your bearings. Let me look after your rations. Since, I've got a massive bag anyway, I might as well look after it for you." After looking after the rations and making encampment, Thunor would try and unknot the bag of rations, only to find he could not open up the bag, demanding what sort of sorcery this was. But Skrymir would say, "What trickery? I'm just giving you your bag back. Go on, open up your bag, have some rations. It's your bag after all." Being annoyed by this, he would try and fight open the bag, only to find he could not open it. And so then, as they slept, demanding on how long it would take to get to Uttengard, Thunor woke him up a second time after the bag opening. And Skrymir would say, What leaf has fallen on my head? This bloody tree is getting on my nerves. being annoyed, Thunor would demand, "How long are we taking to get to Uttengard?" "Only a few miles away now," Skrymir said, and then he made his way off, leaving the Midgard and the Aesir folk to travel alone. They would come to the gate of Uttengard to find that the castle walls and the gates were so much bigger than what you'd see in Asgard. Since it is Jotunheim, the gates are humongous, even smaller than the walls, which are 10 times more gargantuan. And as they entered the city of Uttengard, they were given scowls and not pleased facial looks, since the Thunder God, killer of their people and the defender of our realm, would walk on their grounds. And greeted by the castle's lord, Uttengard's Loki, would welcome the Thunder God in Frith, saying, "Welcome, Thunor and friends. I see you've had a long trip. Come, we are just about to have some games and wondering if you are interested." And so these games will be a test of either hunger, speed and strength. And so each one would take up these tasks. Loki boasted on being a good eater, when really it should have been Thunor put to this challenge, since Thunor could eat an entire oxen in one sitting, and down loads of barrels of mead. And so Loki would compete in an eating race, from eating from one table to the other with a string in the middle. His competitor was a fire giant from Muspelheim, called Logi. So this character has a G, not a K. And so the race began, and pretty much Logi, the fire giant, was already pretty much at the end of the feasting table, and even ate the bones of the food. But because he was made of fire, he even ate half of the wooden table, beating Loki in this race. The next challenge would be one of a race, a running race of a sprint. And so Thialfi would come across a small Jotun, and he would race this Jotun. But as he was on his way halfway through the 100 metres, the giant competitor was already there on the other side, there and back 3 times. And so then, worried about this, Thunor would demand a challenge, a drinking challenge. And so then, Uttengard's Loki would give Thunor a horn of mead, supposedly mead. He could not drink this whole horn of mead, demanding what was in this. How was this mead not even budged from the horn's litre? And so, after 3 more tries of gulping, he could not down any more, and demanded he would have a lifting competition. And so Uttengard's Loki would say to Thunor, "You must be a lightweight if you cannot down my whole horn of mead. But let's see how good your strength is. Here is my cat. See if you can get it off all 4 paws, and then see how you do with that." And so as Thunor went to lift the cat and managed to lift it off at 1 paw, one Jotun cried out for him to stop because he was worried of what destruction the cat could cause. Uttengard's Loki, rubbing his chin, would say, "That is a good idea. You should stop now. I think you've already done enough." Angered by this because the challenge was not complete, Uttengard's Loki would say that the cat was ferocious and it's not a good idea to pick it up, and it was a bit of a silly idea. The next challenge, Thunor would demand that there would be a wrestling competition. However, Uttengard's Loki had an idea. He would call in his grandmother, an elderly Jotun woman, saying, "This would be a good challenge. Let's have a dance, Thunor." And obviously Thunor, annoyed by this, would say, "I am not wrestling an old lady. I will mostly bust her spine." But everybody laughing at this mocked Thunor because they were thinking that he was scared to wrestle an elderly woman. And enraged and thinking, very well then, he would have a wrestle with the old woman, only to find that the old woman was that strong she got him to kneel on 1 knee, and then the old woman won. After staying the night in Uttengard's castle, and after being guided outside by the Jotun king, demanded, what was all this about? Was this tricks? How were these competitions not able to be won? Uttengard's Loki would say, for the eating challenge that Loki partook,
He was facing fire itself, and fire burns through wood and flesh, and possibly bone, if turned up at high enough temperature, since Logi was a fire giant from Muspelheim. The second challenge, Thialfi, that little Jotun he was racing, was not actually a Jotun. It was an illusion created by thinking, since when it comes to thinking, only one can think of the most silliest things, even the craziest speed. Nobody can outthink the mind and its speed of thinking. The third challenge of drinking that you part up, Thunor, it was not mead that you was drinking out of my horn. You was drinking Midgard's ocean, and receded quite a bit of its waves.
About half of it.
About half of the ocean's water.
Yeah.
And so then, as for the lifting challenge, you was not lifting my cat. You was lifting the Midgard's worm, Jormanenen. It was a serpent you were lifting, and you probably heaved him out with half of the ocean. And as for the fourth challenge, you were wrestling age itself. It wasn't really my grandmother. You was facing age itself. Even at one point, the gods cannot outrun age due to the apples of youth given by Idun.
You pronounce Adge in Old English because it's got that thing, but
Yeah.
it's pretty much age.
But
Yeah.
basically,
Time.
nobody can outrun age, for it will catch up to them and their youth will be gone.
Yeah, that's
That is
pretty much what I wrote on there. I've
Yeah.
got a few of the old names, but I know you like to recite it in your own way.
Yeah.
Do you want me to get you to the next bit after that? Because there's a few.
Yeah, go on.
Oh.
And so then, after being enraged in this, Thunor attempted to strike Uttengard Loki, and then him, as well as his home castle, vanished in thin air.
Yeah. Exactly what's there.
And now we hail the Thunder God. Hail mighty Thunor!
Hail mighty
The
Thunor!
High Thunderer!
The High Thunderer!
Our Storm King!
Our Storm King!
And repeat, he who took the long fall of time.
He who took the long fall of time.
He who drank most of the sea.
He who drank most of the sea.
He who lifted Jörmungandr.
He who lifted Jörmungandr.
He who gives the life-giving rains and storms.
He
who gives the life-giving rains and storms.
And now the repeat ends. Wassail.
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 Thursday is the day named after Thunor in Old English. He is described in our faith as a ginger long-haired and long ginger-bearded god. He who is strongest of the gods. Wassail.
What's so hell?
Wassail.
Our forebears, the Angles, Saxons and Jutes, also quite the opportune, yet apparently viewed Thunor as a god of fertility. The name Thunersfeld, Thunor's field, is found in Old Anglo-Saxon England, showing that they thought of Thunor as one of the beings who brings fertility and crops. Our founding forebear of Mercia, Ikel, until our last heathen forebear of Mercia, Penda, all honoured this time. We today must keep their ways alive. They are our ways too. We hope to live as accurate as them as we can, as well as our modern lives. Founding forebears of the land, Hengist and Horsa of Kent, and first king of East Anglia, Wulfman, also honoured Thunor at this time. Also Cerdic of Wessex, Airla of Sussex, and Ashwina of Essex. And King Ethelfrith, who ruled the Brythonic kingdoms of Bernicia and Deria, bringing them all together under Anglo-Northumbria. I'll repeat. Hail Thunor!
Hail Thunor!
Hail Ikel!
Hail Ikel!
Hail Penda!
Hail Penda!
Hail Hengist and Horsa!
Hail Hengist and Horsa!
Hail Wulfman!
Hail Wulfman!
Hail Ethelfrith!
Hail Ethelfrith!
Siga, kin and folk of the Arosæte!
Siga Anglekin and folk of the Arosæte!
Siga a Klingasarf!
Siga a Klingasarf!
Siger Wulfingershaaf.
Siger Wulfingershaaf.
Siger Angelkin.
Siger Angelkin.
Siger Fernsida.
Siger Francida.
Siger Fines of the Fernsida.
Siger Fines of the Francida.
Wassail.
Wassail.
And now we'll proceed with the Sidu. Now that the sun's come out a bit and the rain has gone. Hail Thunor.
Hail Thunor.
Should we pass round the mallet first?
Yes.
Before you start as well,
Oh,
am
have you
I?
got a reading
Oh
down?
yes.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, Dan, that's
And with poet readings,
fantastic.
we have our cousin
Oh,
Daniel.
brilliant.
Indeed,
was.
I'm just going to get it up, folks.
Of course, yeah.
The stand's all yours,
Brilliant,
cuz.
cuz. Let him take the centre above her. 30 seconds. Standing up. Excellent.
Here we go.
High Thunderer, a poem by our half-brother Ian. Clap of thunder in the sky, a mighty roar with hammer high, horn of mead, Mjolnir in hand, in goat-drawn chariot across the land, a fearsome god, all said and done, god of thunder, Woden's son. A giant in stature, coarse and loud, but also brave, fierce and proud, when in range his anger growls, while smashing his anvil with mighty blows, creating thunder in darkening skies, whilst bellowing with fearsome cries. When angered he becomes daunting and frightening, unleashing storms, thunder and lightning, with hammer high a formidable roar. The high thunderer, hail Thunor!
How fun!
Thunor.
Thank you guys.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Hearthsmen,
Daniel.
Denu. I'm sure Ian would be very grateful that you recited that for us,
Yeah.
for him here as well.
Hope I did it as good as he did.
Oh,
but
you
You
did.
did.
You did it really good, brother.
You really did it good, Dan.
Are we going to pass round the mallet and
Yeah.
Alpha Law, brother? Then we'll do the offering and now
And
the
now
sparks of flame.
we'll pass the mallet round and thank the Thunder God and say our prayers to him.
Yeah.
Hail mighty Thunor, guardian of our realm, defender of Uttengard, and the defeater of the Uttengard. Hail, Lord Thunor.
Alpha Law, protector of Middengarder, mighty Storm King, High Thunderer, protector of Middengard, defeater of the Uttengard, bearer and Bane, Lord Bane of the Uttengard. Wasuhal Thunor. Wolf.
Hail Thunor. Hail to the god of strength and peace, and our god of thunders. Wassail.
Wasuhal.
So, yeah, Dan.
Cheers, cuz. Hail Thunor, high thunderer, god of thunder, protector of realms, and son of Woden. Wassail.
Wasuhal.
Wassail.
Right then, brother. I'm thinking, do you want to give the Effgey first?
The effigy.
Effigy, yeah.
Ah, yes. I was setting the fire.
That's right.
You want some milk that now?
All good, bud.
Oh.
I'll set the fire up for you, bud.
Oh, cool.
Then we'll give. We'll do the Sidu. What remains of the Sidu. Yeah, excellent. Thanks, bye. And perfect timing. The weather has actually gone really
Nice.
good.
The bipolar English weather.
Yeah. That's it.
I think that's speech chapters out. That did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna use them, or the-
Indeed.
The logs will be for
I had to stretch my legs. You know, when you made a speech,
Okay.
I had to stretch my legs so I can.
It's all good,
So
man.
my body can hold it.
Yeah.
It's caught on these snacks.
You want to put a log or two from Tamworth on?
Yeah, we'll throw one of those on.
Because it might.
Quite a bit quick, yeah.
We've got all this wood here as well, man. Don't forget.
Yeah, I was going
Did it wet 'cause they were- And I'll stick a Tamworth in Arden log on because you know they'll go for a bottle, they will. Tamworth in Arden.
That one he bounced you and blinded you, jeez.
I know, yeah.
Okay,
I was trying to show one of these sticks and one of them was really ricocheted up into my jaw. And get up a couple. Yeah, I've had to like position it back to try and not get it to wobble as much.
Ah, see what you do that. Yeah. Well done, bro.
It's just that way it's not
Can you
wobbling
get?
and stuff.
We'll get some cubes as well.
Yeah, get some fire starters.
So you're wearing the shirt that Steph gave you.
I
Yeah.
am, yeah.
I
It's a
was,
lovely shirt, bud.
Brother Steph.
I was about to wear it, but somehow I'll leave it to the next one. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do. Leave it to the next one. This one.
He's inside in the ankles.
Yeah, he is. So if you want to, we'll curse it before we put it on the Effgey.
Do you
And
want the
then
cam-
we've got,
Do you want the camera, dude?
yes please, bud, yeah, if that's okay. Then we've got the fawn, which we'll add after. There's another offering to Thunor. So I'm thinking,
You guys, cause
if you could hold that, brother.
Yeah, I've got it.
You got the camera, bud? Can
Yep.
you put it on the fire down a bit, bud?
how far?
Thanks, Trace. Yeah, that's fine. If I cheers, Cynnwulf. If I put that there, that's perfect.
This is a safe spot.
Please, brother.
They are good.
Thank you. Oh, just wipe the rest of that out, 'cause it's quite damp. And again. That's okay, that is.
Right, I'm gonna light it.
Hold on, babe, wait. Okay. When you're ready, bro. With the wind, it might be tough.
Sure you
That's
want
why
me to do
I
it?
was thinking of right.
Sure you want me to do it, dude?
You want me to do it?
I'll do it. If you want.
That's it.
Oh.
There you
You
go.
got it.
There we are.
Let that get going.
Your pounds.
Sure the camera angles all on this side.
Yeah.
It's gonna go.
Reece, see you? What's
Yeah, sure. I can do it.
With the wind, be aware it might blow. Shall I put this on there? No, I'm going to stick it on.
Sure the camera angles all right like that.
Lift it up.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Lift it and I'll
Should
do
it
it.
say? Uttengard Effgey Uttengard represents the Oathbreaker. All that betray us. All people annoying and of negative energies throughout life. Whether it be people that we have to work with on a daily basis, or just nasty people in life. Anyone of negative energy is Uttengard. People of betrayal. People who have stabbed you in the back. This is Uttengard. All elements of Uttengard this represents. If you can face the fire, please, Cynnwulf. It has no place here. Curse this vile. Curse this vile Effgey.
You have no business here.
You will now be cast to the flame and cast out.
Get out.
Be gone.
Curse the Uttengard.
Curse the Uttengard.
Curse it.
In a minute, we'll put the funnel. We'll let that met way first. Then we'll put the. We can put the fawn on them, brother. It's a good frame.
Excellent.
Just got to figure out what way the wind's blowing.
That way.
Sort of. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Got a bucket of water just in case.
Almost this way is blowing this way.
Yeah, the wind's
Yeah.
calmed it a bit. Now the wind's blowing this way, I can tell because more.
Just
Yeah,
jump
you
in a
get
bit.
it.
bro.
No, you
Oh,
get
yeah.
it, mate. I'll be alright. So I'm used to fire.
Okay, bro, do you want to put the fawn at the Thursaz on? When the
Yeah,
wind's
lift
calm.
up the
Yeah. I'll get you.
Give an offering to Thunor. A Thursaz rune made out of sticks. May this be blessed with the magic of Thursaz and be blessed by Thunor himself.
That's a good fire.
Oh, Thunor.
Alpha no. There we go.
I'll grab the horn.
Yeah, sure.
There we go with that. That is a good fire actually.
It's always a good fire when we light it.
It
It can be
is.
a bit chaotic at times, but still.
Did you want to do the symbel out there, bro?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Do you need more mead or are you good?
I've barely touched the horn now, I'll be alright.
I'm going to put a bit more in and I'm going to say some for social tone. The, that mead that got absolutely off his trolley the other week.
I'm wearing the same shirt I sick all over.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh yeah, I had to wash the old here as well because that was covered in it.
That's fine. That.
Yeah, you come in here.
Yeah,
you come in here.
I'm gonna come in here. They can hear me, they're more.
Yeah, they can hear, don't worry.
As long as I can hear. Right, well, do you want to start the first host today since you led the block? The first.
Alright then. I give my first toast to Woden, the High Gods, Thunor, the rest of the SCN, the one here. West through Hail.
Wassel
What the
Hell!
hell?
We'll get that way, so Dan.
Alright, first toast to the High Gods, Thunor, Woden, and to the ancestors, forebears, Wassail.
Wassel Hell! To the high gods, I give toast. To Thunor of your time, I give toast. To Woden, father of the English, and father of our Anglican. And to the Alfred of Elder Blotter of the SCN one here. I give hail to my upholder my upholder deity Ingwe. I give hail to the high gods of the SCN one eye. Klingers half upholding deities Mona and Two. I give hail to the Essia and the one eye. Wassel Hal.
West
What's
through
that?
Hail. Yeah, I'll turn it a bit.
Yeah, with the Cynnwulf.
The first toast for Thunor, giving strength and our forebears together, and the speech as well from Rhys as well.
Thank you.
So what's the hell for that?
What's that?
Wassel Hal.
For my second toast, I give to events that have recently gone by this week. For our previous block 2 days ago, we held Frith and a glorious grove, and had a block similar to this, just without much stories told. But also, we had mine and Al's cousin Daniel initiated as a hearthman for a Klingersarth. A proud day and a glorious one. That's how, cuz.
Wassail.
Wassel Hal.
What's the hell?
My second toast is to all the Hearth brothers that have joined us all here today, and obviously the Hearth brothers who are in other lands, other part of the land, to our Wulfman half brother Ian, to our stonemason Steph, and to our leader Chris, and to obviously to Rhys. You know, it was a good reading from you.
Thank you, Daniel.
Wait me, which one?
Yeah, it's been good seeing as you as well, Cynnwulf. It's been an honour, and obviously your man Rich, Alex. It's been a pleasure joining you here again today. Wassail.
Wassel Hal. Yeah, my second toast, as Dan said, I'd like to give thanks to all you here today. Thank you, Brother Leodman Lytel Beorn, Rhys Nicholasson, for leading a fantastic block today.
Thank you.
You did really well with that. To Hearthsman, cousin, brother Denu. And I think you did really well with reciting that poem of Ian's. I think he'll really appreciate you doing that here. So that's good. Wow, I think he'll be proud of you for doing that. Brother Cynnwulf, thank you for helping out with all the bits and bobs as always, and helping run the half and joining us again for a great block. Also to a Hearthsman of the Klingersarth, half bearer of the Klingersarth, Wulfman Ian, can't be with us today. Our crafter Steph, who can't be with us today, and also our elder blotter of the Klingersarth, Chris. To our spiritual advisor Leofrich, down in Wessex, and again to Tally in Wulfingersarth, the half leader of Wulfingersarth, later to be sworn at Nervous Block. So what's so how?
Wassail.
So how?
For the third final toast, it's me meeting the Clean's Hearth on Saturday with our brothers, and especially the brilliant speech from our Wulfman Ian and Steph, our craftsman, making the new stuff, making our what we showed, the gifts. I mean, and Ian Ian himself making the lead of the pack, making a good speech for everyone. And as for today we're down as the Hearthsmen with us on Saturday, and Rhys making the speech.
Thank you.
And Al.
Thank you, brother.
Everyone is enjoying the episodes with the decent speeches. Everyone. And
Yeah.
the fire. What's out for everyone?
That's so hard.
Wow. For my third and final toast, I'd like to thank you, brother, for giving me this chance to be hallowed for today, for the blót of Thunor. And I'd like to thank you all for giving me a chance to read Tales of the Gods and regale them. And thank you for giving me a chance to lead for today. What's the hail?
That's so hard.
My third and final toast, considering this is the Thunor blót, I'd like to honour it to Thunor for giving us all the strength to face adversity, no matter what part of life we're in or what we're going through. He's always with us, and as Anglekin, we will always push on stronger. Wassail.
What's
That's so hard. To all of our forebears throughout time, as always, especially our heathen Anglican forebears, Ikel, Alderman Batcher, who was local to this area, the Arosæte, Ikel Wuffa of East Anglia, to Penda, last heathen king of Mercia, also to the good forebears, even after conversion, that have, of course, still fought with heart and dignity for the land. Also to those more recently, what was that?
Someone was in.
Yeah, I heard. To those who at this time recently would have headed into World War II, still forebears. My dad asked me to toast that the other day, but I didn't get
the
until
summer.
the summer, yeah.
Oh,
So to them as well. And of course the last toast always goes to stuff in general. So returning to work anesthetically was quite tough. There is a challenge I'm not going to mention out loud at work at the moment. So hopefully Thunor will give me the strength to go with that. Keep allowing me to push on the spin bike, become healthy. I want to give thanks for the football awards evening. Every player got a well-deserved award. All showed up. Also to the good times, to my kin, to my alloys, to my partner Katie, my wife Katie, who provided the lovely bottle of mead today, so thank you for that, Katie. And thank God there's only some left over. So to family that need healing, obviously Dan's Denu here has healed terrifically. My uncle, who will hopefully become stronger as he goes. My nan on my mum's side, who's still suffering cancer, sadly. And to my mum, whose legs aren't great at the moment, so we asked Thunor to heal them with his elements of healing. Keep them strong. What's so hard?
What's out?
For my third final speech is, it was, like you said, it was a good presentation on Friday, where everyone enjoyed the awards.
Yeah.
But the only thing what we achieved is going to Western Supermare. So we'll be having a good time, having a feast, having a few drinks there, and having a good time. But I'm glad, I'm happy here today to come here today with all you four tonight. For all you four. So what's that help for everyone?
What's so hard? Quite rarely, but occasionally, sometimes the odd person I know we'll add in. Come on in if you want, neighbour. We'll add in the final fourth, like one final fourth toast. I'd like to do that this block.
Yeah.
And I'd like to give it to our Hearthsman, Cynnwulf, Amy Heaton, it's by the name Cynnwulf, who's also had an operation on her leg, and we hope Thunor will heal her quickly. Also to Gazwitch, Gareth, who couldn't be with us today, and I know you've got stuff going on at the moment, bud, and you know, we do hope you'll be okay and you'll start. You okay, bud?
Yeah,
Yeah,
fine.
shows burn a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had that problem.
And we hope that Gaz will be able to start coming to more Arosæte blocks again, and that he'll start hanging out with his allies again soon, and he's okay. So to Cynnwulf, Amy, and to Gazwitch, Gareth, what's out?
What's
What's
up?
up?
Sorry, before we continue, I'm empty. Can I have a
Oh,
little
yeah.
top one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
fun, yeah.
Do you want the cider or the mead, Dan?
I don't mind. Oh, is there more cider there?
It's all
Yeah,
right. You can
yeah.
have some mead as a drop.
I'll be right back. I'm just going to grab.
Yeah,
Oh, right, yeah.
that's pretty much it now.
Do you want the camera ended?
Oh, God, yeah. Rhys gone, has he?
Yeah, he's spoken specific.
I'll call it there then. So that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'll just jump in the front there and adjust some.
Aye.
Oh, you're back. Do you want me to end it, bro?
Yeah, you can do. Well, starting in it.
Okay. Well, that's pretty much it for Thunor Black. Arosæte Thunor Black 2023. I'm Leodman Rhys. Well, the usual hairweird of Arosæte Black, and today's.
And I am today's hairweird. Rhys Nicholasson, Lytel Beorn. What's up?
What's up?
We have Hearthman.
And I am a recently voted in Hearthsman, Dan, also known as Danu. What's up?
What's up?
And Brother Cynnwulf.
And I'm glad to come here, but what's out for everyone from everyone who I know.
What's
So, may you have the honour to be, the wisdom to know, and the knowledge to care.
Yeah, may you have the honour to be, the wisdom to know, and the knowledge to care. And as our forebears did, so shall we. What's so hard?
What's
What's
out?
up?
See you later.